All right, we're here with Uncle Curt Schilling. This is technically the second interview, but part 3. The first time that we were here was back in 2016, and we did a 2-parter with you downstairs. This time we're upstairs with 3 dogs.
Yes.
So if you hear any
Jax.
panting in the background, those are the dogs.
These guys are the best.
Jax, Puck, and Ellie.
Curt, as a reminder, you know the rules. When we interview you, there's no politics, and we will ring the buzzer if you go into any political talk. Do you accept these terms as they are presented to you?
We'll see.
Okay. The reason why we're here today is because it's been 3 years, which I feel like is too long.
No.
I think, no, it's been too
The
long.
reason why we're here is because that fucking thing on your finger.
This?
Yeah, that's why you wanted
What is
to have
it?
this.
This whole thing?
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry. I didn't
This?
interrupt.
What are you pointing to?
Nothing.
The microphone?
No.
You have one too.
Go ahead. The
did
reason
you
we're
just
here is
point at?
because it's been 3 years.
Yeah, it's been 3 years. I missed you.
I did actually miss you a little bit.
I know you did, but you just pointed to my microphone while you.
No,
had
I
one too.
pointed to that ring on your finger.
This.
Yeah.
You. What about this upsets you, Curt? Because
It's on your fucking finger.
Well, I mean, would you like me to put it on a chain or
No,
something? Is
no.
there something about it in particular that upsets
You can make it like a cock ring or something.
I mean, I could do that too. I mean,
The
it's
size
a little,
it would be pretty accurate. Yeah.
It's a little
Yeah.
small. It's a little small.
Yeah.
and you have a female producer now too. That's
I do. This is
totally.
Bryn's
Yep.
the best.
Yep, she's
Yep.
the best. She's the best in the game. So you were upset that I got a World Series ring. Would you like to talk about it?
Sure, we can talk about
All
it.
right, let's talk about it. What about this upsets you? You have 3.
Why did you get one?
I mean, you could make a case. That
No,
it
no,
contributed
stop.
to
First
the
of all,
World
stop. You
Series
can't make a
title,
case. You
probably
cannot
not.
make it. Stop. You
I
can't
mean,
make a case.
You could.
No.
You could probably
Nope.
make a case.
No.
That
There was not one game in that season
Yeah.
that you tipped the margin of victory for them to win.
That's not true, actually.
no,
That's not true.
no, no.
What about?
No.
So do you want like the masseuse, like the team masseuse, to get
Russell?
No, yeah. Anybody.
Yeah,
Team
yeah.
masseuse gets a ring. Are you
Right.
okay with
I mean,
that?
he's part of the reason those guys play well.
So if you help them off the field to prepare them on the field,
Right.
then you deserve a ring.
if you're part of the
Yes or no?
organization,
Nah, why do you have to be part of the organization?
because
You help-
why wouldn't you? On what planet? You know what? This is almost going to go political, but I won't let it go political.
You can't.
On what
I'll ring the
planet
buzzer.
would someone outside of the organization deserve a ring for the organization winning a World Series?
Well,
Because if by your
What does your
criteria,
employer
every single
matter?
fan who
No.
yes
No, I saw your tweet. You said something like I could name like millions of fans that are just as dedicated.
I
as
could
Jared.
and
I don't
you
think
know what
could
that
name
was,
one.
that was probably a little bit
Yeah.
hyperbole on my part, and I
Mm-hmm.
apologize because no, I do because you are passionately dedicated,
Yeah.
and it is kind of the center of your life, but
Yeah.
you still don't fucking deserve to get a ring.
So I remember the last time that we were here, we were talking about how you are just like a baseball nerd who happened to also be good at baseball. Like you love the sport.
Right.
You named
Grew up a
your
fan.
son Garrig.
Yeah.
That's been your Twitter handle. That's
Yeah.
your Sons of Sam Horn thing.
Right.
So could you? And this is where I was like, what the fuck, Curt? So say you weren't good at baseball.
Right.
Say you were just a fan,
Right.
And you were in my shoes, and everything that you dedicated towards the game just happened to be on the media side versus. And I don't
Right.
even know that we're on the media side because
You're on the
we're-
media
we're
side.
on the entertainment side.
No, you're on the media side
Well, 'cause
because
we're on
you
the
no
journalism
because
side.
no, but that's not true because
Do we report
I
things?
promise you if we go back to 2018,
Yeah.
what you said about the Red Sox in different occasions was far worse than anything anybody ever wrote because you get so mad and so out of control that
There were no parts to get mad at, though.
no, but you
This
would
year,
if they
you-
lost
this
one in a
year-
row in 2018, you were like they fucking trade bets, sales a dick.
No.
No, listen,
we didn't do that.
You're extreme.
We didn't do that.
Yeah, you're
We
extreme.
did not do that.
You're
Curt.
extreme.
We don't do that.
Anyway,
we don't
yes,
that
you do.
here.
Yes, you do. But anyway,
We don't.
all right. So I'm a nerd and I couldn't play baseball.
Yeah, so if you were a nerd,
Right.
you couldn't play baseball, and your entire life was dedicated to the Red Sox, and they made it like a nice gesture to be like, "Hey, we thank you for your support. Here's a little something." You'd be like, "I can't take
One
that."
of
You
two
wouldn't
things.
do that.
No, but I actually I was raised like I would have been very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Very uncomfortable.
Well, the
Number
only
one,
time-
wait.
The only
Number
time
one,
I've ever worn it is when they gave it to me, and for this interview. For
no,
you.
no,
the only
that's not
time-
true because
Yes,
I saw
is.
it all over social media.
That was one day.
Okay,
it's the same outfit.
But social media's forever.
I guess.
Right,
but
right. No, not I guess.
And, hold on, Curt.
Wait.
Hold on. The day that they gave it to me, we had a little ceremony. Jason
Okay, now
Varitek-
I'm getting fucking
You're
really
like, this
sick.
is already worse than
A
what it
ceremony?
already was.
Jason Varitek gave it to you. You're familiar with him.
Okay, I'm just gonna pretend you didn't say that.
Jason Varitek gave me the ring.
Right.
Put it on. Took a bunch of pictures. Immediately went right back to work. Went
Right.
down to batting practice. I took it off.
Oh my
I was like,
God.
I'm not going to wear it around
You
the
are
players.
such just a down-home, hard-working, blue-collar
Thank
American.
you. So I went right back to work. Took the ring off. I was like, I'm not wearing
Right.
it around the players. Put it right back in the case, and I didn't wear it. I haven't. This is the first time
So-
I've worn
so,
it since the day I got it.
Let me
I
tell
wore
you
it
something.
For you, Kurt.
One of two
You wanted to
things.
see it.
Either A, I would not have accepted it, which I probably would have, but I would have never told anybody, and I would have never shown anybody.
Right, but I'm in the content business. We
No,
have to make
and I
content
get
out
that.
of
And
it. Yeah.
like I said, I don't think any less of you and like you any less that you did it. I
Do you
just
like me
think it was
more?
huh?
Do you like me
no,
more?
not even close.
No, okay.
But the fact of the matter is that as a player, you have to understand. So let me just.
So after you
Give me a-
got upset about it on Twitter,
Let's say-
I
well, hold
asked
on.
some players. I was like, "Are you mad that I got a ring?" They're like, "Fuck no."
Well, no, of course that's one of those. They're not going to tell you to their face.
I mean,
I promise
some
you.
guys would be like, I don't
No,
know, it's a
no.
little weird.
Let
Yes,
me
they
just
would.
tell
They're
you
very
something.
honest
I'm
with you.
telling you, as a player, a former player, I guarantee you, people in the locker room are going, "What the fuck?"
Maybe they might think it's funny, but
No.
They
Nope.
give out a ton of rings, though.
Right.
Yeah.
No, and that's fine because
Yeah.
the front office people
Right.
and all the people that make the experience of being in that franchise, I get that.
And
Those
media people too.
Those,
Your
but
argument
you just
holds
said
up
you're
a
not
lot.
media people.
We're in the
No,
entertainment
not.
business.
See, what?
We're in the entertainment business.
Okay, right. But point being this.
If Ben Affleck got a ring, you pissed?
Fuck yes.
Yeah, me too. Because he probably watched like 3 games. Fuck
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
He wasn't a.
But here's the thing, I don't know how to. And so let's just say you're in the media, okay?
Let's say
and
hypothetically.
let's just say you win the Pulitzer Prize for something you do,
Eventually,
Right.
I probably will.
and somebody somewhere that is just a fan of yours,
Yeah.
got a miniature Pulitzer Prize because they were big fans of yours.
Mm-hmm.
Like. You work. It doesn't really. The analogy doesn't work because
No, it
you
doesn't.
play your whole life as an athlete
Yeah.
for the ring.
But you know that like the players get the A ring.
I
and
know.
there's a
No,
B
it doesn't
ring,
matter.
and then there's
That's
a
not
C
right.
ring.
Right.
This is the B ring.
Yeah, that should be like a Z plus. There's
No.
no.
Z plus.
No.
I like that.
Again, it's one of those things where it trivializes the memento.
I disagree.
Okay, well, that's fine, and that's
Yeah.
totally fine. But as a player, I promise you, there are guys going, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
See,
Yeah,
I
in like a
totally
funny
see
way.
both sides here.
Right.
Like obviously, Kurt, he played
Yeah.
in MLB forever. You won rings.
You
It's
play
gonna
for the ring.
you play to win the game.
play to
It's
win the
gonna
game.
make it feel a little weird when the blogger gets the ring.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I said, if it was like, does Dan Shaughnessy get a ring?
Oh God.
Dan Shaughnessy was not like. We're not comparable.
Okay, so you can't pick and choose when you're a media member and when you're an entertainer.
No, yes you can.
No, you can't.
We are.
The line's
like
getting a little
Section
blurry.
10
and you
is
can't
not.
you can't go back
journalism.
and forth. Once you cross the line,
Yeah.
you're over the line. It doesn't matter.
We compete for the same eyeballs, but we don't do it in the
You're-
same way.
No, but see, you need to grow up and just admit you're part of the media.
We're not though.
You are. Absolutely are.
But not in the
because
same
what
way
you
that
do, you
Dan
sell
Shaughnessy
brands
is.
and advertising and all
Yeah.
the things that a media outlet does.
But it's not.
And
journalism.
Barstool, but it is.
It's media, but
Jour-
it's not.
no,
journalism.
that's not true because there is no media anymore. Media has become journalism. There is no true media anymore because media used to report the news. That's
Yeah.
no longer. Now it's just
getting blurry.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's but again, like I said, I don't think an ounce less of you, but I'd fuck it if I was on the team. I would have been pissed.
Yeah, I know that you would have been.
Yeah.
And
And-
I don't think anyone in there is
Right.
actually.
And I'm telling you right now, they all went. Come on, you fucking kidding me?
I don't think so.
Right. But.
I mean, like the fucking security guards get rings.
Well, but they work for the organization, and there's a.
I don't work for the.
No,
organ-
you don't.
We as a show promote the brand better than the Red
No,
Sox do.
that's fine, but you
Yeah.
don't. You're not on the Sox payroll, although
No, I'm
maybe
not.
you are, and then no one just
No.
knows. But the fact of the matter is,
Never.
right.
No.
But my point is,
No.
you don't work for the organization.
I know that.
You're fans, and I don't want to trivialize how hardcore fans are, but there's fans that are every bit as hardcore as you are that don't have a podcast. There are. Trust me, you know they are. I mean, there are. This is the different. That's one thing I learned about coming here and playing in different markets was there are very few fan bases that can make the claims the Red Sox fan base can make,
Sure.
which is you're born into this.
Yeah.
This is in your blood. I was born and raised a Steeler fan, and I would live and die with the Steelers, but my love of the Steelers is nothing like somebody born into the Red Sox culture.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a
Which
lifelong
again,
commitment.
those things are before 2004. That's like the Holy Grail,
Correct.
right?
Yep.
And you're fucking wearing one,
Hell yeah.
right? You're not Indiana Jones. No,
No,
no. It's
I'm Jared Carabas.
right. Anyway, so yeah, I still think it's bullshit.
That was good.
I would like you to have one too. I mean, I think that.
No,
we should
there's
both-
no fucking way.
Where's your 04 ring?
No, it's in a drawer somewhere.
You don't keep it in a safe?
No.
Why?
Why would I keep it in a safe?
I don't know. How much do you think that that's worth, knowing that it's your
Oh,
ring?
if it's Schilling's,
I don't
a
know.
shitload.
I don't know. It's not something I ever contemplated because I never even.
How often do you take it out and look at it?
I don't. You know what? Honest to God, I would tell you, since 01 when I won a World Series, I've worn a World Series ring less than 20 times.
What type of event would you break it up?
A charity event.
Yeah.
I when I went overseas to visit the soldiers,
Yeah.
I took them. Anytime I'm doing something with the military, I'll wear them
Yeah.
because I mean, Red Sox people don't understand how big Red Sox Nation is.
Pretty big.
It's global,
Yeah.
and they'll and so they always want to wear it and whatever. And anytime I go to one of the hospitals and visit,
Yeah.
because the kids love playing with it and stuff, but very few events because. Well, it's like the trophies. It would be like putting the trophies in the back of my truck and driving around with them. Like, I know I won.
Yeah.
We won.
Yeah.
I don't need to wear a piece of jewelry to tell me. It's very much like the Hall of Fame. I don't need a plaque for the people that know me to know what kind of player I was.
We're gonna have a Section 10 approval process on your tweets. Anytime that you're
Yeah,
like,
that's
I don't
not
know if this is questionable, you text it to me.
Nope.
I give you a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
That's an immediate no.
Well, let's be very clear. If that was going to happen, you'd be the last fucking person that I would be looking for approval
I have a
from.
clean bill of
I
health
know.
on Twitter.
Because you're a puss. You're afraid to actually I get it.
Well, that's not true. I've mixed it up a few times on Twitter.
stop.
Yeah, I've mixed it. Who's your least favorite writer that reported on you throughout your career?
Okay.
And what
so-
did they do that pissed you off?
No, here's the thing.
Besides Shaughnessy.
I never had problems with the writers who were honest.
Yeah.
If they wrote shit about me that was negative because I did or said something negative, that didn't bother me.
Yeah.
If you think about this, so again, this gets back to the character thing. The writers I'm probably closest with would be Tim Kirkjian,
Yep.
Jason Stark.
Yep.
And can you think of two people that more kind, nice people than those two guys?
No, they're awesome.
No, they're very nice guys.
Right, and the guys that I couldn't fucking stand
Yeah.
were Shaughnessy, like Randy Miller, who was a nobody, people that lied, Pedro Gomez, just people that were that tried to be as much a part of the story as the story itself.
Right.
I couldn't, and you know, CHB he's been a train wreck for the last decade, which is sad because as someone who reads voraciously, he was an incredibly good writer.
Yeah.
But he's just a miserable old curmudgeon with just a horrible hairdo. I mean, come on.
Have you seen him in person recently?
No.
When's the last time you had like a face-to-face interaction? Was it your playing days?
Yeah.
Did he vote for you last year?
I don't know.
Did they release that, or some of
some of
them
them
do?
I think he did.
I think he has in the past, but then he didn't.
Some of these guys are so proud to post that ballot. They're like,
Yeah.
these are
And
the
then,
guys.
but the one I guarantee you, most of the ones that are not going to vote for me will not post their ballots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't want that. They don't
No,
want that. sauce.
no.
They don't want that.
Yeah. I think it's foolish. Who else would be up for next year's ballot? I feel like they've.
Those are the two guys. Well, you got Walker. You got there's a couple guys.
Yeah.
Helton, Walker.
But I feel like they're gonna just be
Yeah, they're
held back.
Roland.
Yeah.
Like, to me, Roland is like a no-brainer. That's the one that bothers me.
Yeah,
a lot.
I've done a case on
Yeah.
him. I've written about Roland. I've basically written about everyone that's been on the
Mike
ballot.
Schmidt said that Scott Rowland was the greatest third baseman to ever play the
Well,
game.
that's just
Wow.
not true.
Jeez.
That's what he said.
It's like
Well, but hold on a second.
Isn't that like Pedro complimenting other pitchers?
He said he was the
Yeah.
greatest defensive third baseman to ever play the game. I'm sorry, I didn't agree.
Brooks Robinson.
No, but I'm saying Mike Schmidt said, all due respect to Brooks, and I know people think that because he was a phenomenal defensive player too.
Yeah.
He said that Scott Rowland was the best defensive third baseman that ever lived. And when those guys are throwing that out there,
Yeah.
they don't do that stuff.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
you know. And a lot of them hold on to those things for dear life. Remember the Dolphins in the undefeated season? Like, they didn't want the Patriots to
Oh,
win.
of
'cause
course
that
not.
they hold on to that. And for him to say that, and I played in front of him. His rookie year. I played with a couple Hall of Famers. Bagwell's rookie year, Roland's rookie year, and Scott was his first game. He made a play that was just like, oh my God, I've never seen anything like that. And he did
Who's
it.
the most talented Hall of Famer that you faced that you had the least difficulty with?
Eddie Murray. He was 0 for 32 off me. He got it. He ended his career 1 for 33.
Oh God!
damn.
Single,
He
and I
finally
knew
got
it.
one?
Like I knew It was the last game I was ever going to face him because he was retiring. And
The
in the
stage
last
was set.
at bat, I'm like, I'm going to have a Hall of Famer for his career off me. He singled up the middle. I was so pissed. But
I thought
he
you were
also,
about to say you grooved him one just to be like, I'll give you one.
but he also, Eddie was the guy who, Greg Olson and I got called up in 1988. And our first day in the big leagues, Eddie took Greg and I out that night for a drink and just talked to it. Like, it was the coolest thing. Like, hey, it's going to be overwhelming, blah, 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 blah. And it was unbelievably cool. And then he and Frank Robinson hated each other, so it was fun.
Oh, yeah.
They went at it.
it
Was the greatest. Final day of the 88 season, we're supposed to, 88 was the 0-21 start.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Final day of the season, we're supposed to take our jerseys off and give them to the fans. And so
Maybe they're just
Frank's
throwing
in
the
the
crowd.
locker room. Frank says, "All right, guys, after the game, we're gonna give our jerseys. We're gonna take our jerseys off, give them to the fans." From the corner here, the fuck I am. And like everybody turns around. He goes, "Everybody." He goes, "Yeah, okay, watch." And like I'm like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
They're fucking getting ready to go.
Right.
Like, and Eddie, after the game, Eddie came in, put his in the trash can locker room and threw lighter fluid on it and burned it.
Oh wow, that's aggressive.
Like,
I kind of
fuck
respect
I
that,
am.
though. Yeah, I
I
respect
love that. I respect that.
Yeah, and it was like Eddie Murray. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, that's
Yeah.
badass.
Yeah, I respect that move a lot.
And I love Frank too, so that made it even funner.
How often did you face Griffey? I feel like that maybe
Not a lot.
Yeah,
I
that probably didn't
hardly-
happen often.
I don't know, less than 10 times. If I
Okay.
even faced, I don't remember facing him.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I do. The thing I do remember, I think that I faced him and his dad in the same game.
Ooh, that's pretty cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I think I did.
Who hit the longest home run off of you?
Bonds. Bonds.
Wakefield
Where was
got
it?
that, too.
Bonds literally almost killed 4 people in the pizza restaurant in center field at Bank One Ballpark. He hit a ball off me that was literally like I reached up to catch it, and it went into the restaurant in center field above the fence and like pinged around like a pinball, and I think injured like 7 people. It was the most insane home run that I've ever given up. And then the other one I would say was in Double-A. I gave up a home run to Glenn Allen Hill
Yeah.
in Chattanooga that landed in like Murfreesboro or something.
Barry Bonds has killed 5 individuals at a pizza
I'm not
place.
kidding. It was the most. It was.
People
It
thought
was
you like went on like a mass shooting. It's like, no, he just hit a
right.
home run off
No,
Curt
there was
Schilling.
like you see medics running to the restaurant, like the ambulance people, and like it was embarrassing.
God.
What do you like? Obviously, you're a fierce competitor. What do you think after something? Like, do you tip your cap? You're like, fuck. Are you mad at yourself?
No,
or you're just like, that's
just
impressive.
I'm just like, ESPN's gonna run that all fucking night.
Yeah. What year is it?
Like that was 2001, I think.
Oh, so you were one of the 73.
No.
No, it's 2000. What year
It
was
was
that?
2002.
That
It
was,
was 2001 was 73 because I
Yeah.
didn't give up one. I don't think I gave up one to him in that year.
Okay.
That's got to be an honor for the pitcher.
Well,
I did
that-
not.
it-
give
yeah,
up.
the other
I am
one
the
was-
one in 73.
Right. The other one for me was when Sosa and McGuire were going for the
98.
Oh, 98, yeah.
Neither one of them hit one off me that year. I
Really?
gave up one to everybody else, but neither one of them hit one off me that year.
That's big.
Huh.
Nice.
Yeah, 98. That was a crazy year.
They
That
just
wa-
had that. They had that doc on the other day with Sammy Sosa, and he
Yeah,
like
they-
walked out in the interview, and then
Is
you were on that because they had all the guys lined
Yep.
up, and then Curt Schilling's there, and I'm like, oh yeah, Curt was
Yeah.
there. All these guys roided up, and you're there like,
Yep.
hey guys.
Yeah, it was.
Did you ask to be a part of that panel?
No.
They asked you.
You know
Why?
what? It was. I got subpoenaed because of an off-the-cuff comment I made to Tom Perducci.
But what?
He was doing an article in Sports Illustrated about performance enhancing, and I said something smart. I was embellishing, and it was not true. I said, yeah, you go around in the locker room, you slap a guy in the ass, and the guy's like, ow, don't do that. Like, you know.
Yeah.
And he wrote that, and that was the comment that was mentioned in the subpoena for me to testify.
Huh.
Do you know what I remember about that day? The thing I remember about that day was, so when you go in to testify, you're held in the back area before you go out in front. I went over to say hi to Mark McGuire, and I've never seen any. I walked out of there and looked at my lawyer and said, he's going to admit it. Like, he was sweating. He couldn't function.
Yeah.
I was like, he's getting ready to do something that. And
Was that the steroids is bad?
No,
line,
that was
or-
I'm not here to talk about the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
talking about
right.
the past.
He never admitted
Nope.
nor denied.
Nope.
Did he admit what 5 years later?
And
2010 he
here's
did.
the other thing, like, he might have been one of the nicest human beings I've ever known.
Yeah.
Like, because people ask me, oh, you're a racist because you hate Bonds and you like McGuire. No, I hated Bonds because he was an asshole, and I like McGuire because he wasn't.
Right.
It didn't have anything to do with them cheating.
Right.
And at the end of the day, to all the cheaters, I beat you.
That's true.
So I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I wish they hadn't have, and, you know, it's our fault as players that it happened. I tell you what, I remember 1994, During the lockout, Rick Helling stood up. We had a players-only meeting in Florida. There was probably 150, 200 players. Rick Helling stood up and said, are we going to address the steroid problem, or are we just going to be idiots and let it go? He goes, because I'm sick and tired of getting beat by people who are cheating. And the whole room fucking shouted him down. Sit the fuck down, shut up.
Oh, wow.
1994.
Really?
Yes.
Damn.
He was one of my favorite. He was the only guy I ever played with from Stanford that I liked.
Huh.
All the other ones were just total dicks.
So this was all just like speculation then, because of like the size of these guys, the
Well,
home run numbers.
but it wasn't.
Did you ever see it?
No, never.
never saw it.
I know I played with guys that did it. I never saw steroids. Never saw them in the clubhouse. Never saw. But I know for a fact Lenny Dykstra did it in the winter of '92.
How?
Because he showed up in '93, 30 pounds heavier with less body. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: as an athlete, you understand how most athletes. That's why I don't buy the whole. I had no idea what I was putting in my body.
Right.
All of us understand the physics of the body, understand how the body works.
Yeah.
Because we all have to, I always tell people this is not a body, this is a cruel family joke. Right? But I always understood what my weight was and body fat was and where I had to go and what I had to do and what I had to put in. And guys, you're a guy, you're very clearly all about biceps and triceps.
Yeah.
You understand nutrition.
Big time.
Right.
Mix on a little chest.
But it's not as big. You're very much smaller than you were.
That is
I
true.
was wondering if you stopped using.
Yeah.
But
Working hard.
That whole thing, like I never saw it, but I knew it was happening. Okay. See, my dogs are trying to turn this into Michael Vick's house, and I just can't.
No, he's the best.
But no, so the thing about, and then everybody asks about Jose. Is he a hero or is he a goat?
I mean, he kind of started
He
the
fucking
motion.
played his whole career as a cheater, and
Yeah.
he admitted it when it didn't cost him anything.
Right. But I mean,
once
do you
he's done,
think
that's
it's
when he got ahead of it.
Do you think it means more coming from a guy who also used versus like if it was
Yeah,
just
but he
some like
lied.
skinny
I mean,
dude who at
he-
150 is like, oh,
But
everyone
it's al-
cheated.
Yeah, but it's also my biggest problem was
If it had to come from a player, I think I prefer it to come
right.
from someone who
and
also
listen,
did
I
it
said,
themselves.
I said one of the biggest problems of that whole congressional hearing was that I think Jose and I were the only ones telling the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched that back last night. You guys were the only ones that were
Right,
telling the truth.
and so, but Jax, stop. Come here, stop, down,
He wants to get on the show.
down.
I'm a big Jax fan.
Yeah, stay. But it was like I said, it's like playing with somebody your whole career, and then when they leave, you go, that guy was an asshole.
Yeah.
You never say anything to him when he's there. He played his whole career, and you're talking about a guy. He was the first 40-40. I mean, 40-40.
Yeah, it was a big deal back then. Alfonso Soriano, I think, did
Yeah,
it too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think back then, we as the public and also you as the players were very uneducated about steroids in general. I think a lot of the players that were using were just like using and lifting like bodybuilders.
Yeah, see,
I still think that like
but
PEDs.
Jose was doing it on another level.
Yeah, well,
The
he was
people
very educated
associated
about-
with, he was teaching to do on another level.
Right.
They were doing it right. They were cycling and doing all this other shit.
Yeah.
Players were not. I promise you, they were not uneducated. It was just. It was quiet.
But I mean, like, look at this, like, because in my personal opinion,
Right.
is
I know
that
you're- yeah.
I think that guys now are still using PEDs.
I think to some degree, not as
But,
many.
but you
not
look
even
at like
close,
the people
but
in the Olympics, right? Like they're
Yep.
faster, they're
Yep.
stronger,
Well,
but they're not. They don't look like professional wrestlers,
Where's the disincentive?
right? I mean, like if you
Melky
have,
Cabrera?
if you have, go for it.
Right.
You get your contract.
You
it's
get
like
suspended for a year, or you get to collect on $42 million. Otherwise.
Yeah.
Like, where's the pen? That's the problem. Is that
there should be like a way to void the
well,
contracts if
it's
you're
very,
caught.
it would be very easy to just say the first time you're caught, your contract gets voided and you're banned for a year.
Yeah, and then you have to come back as a
Right.
free agent.
Right. Don't dick around with it.
Yeah.
Just say, and then if you get caught a second time, you're out forever.
Because what is it now? What's the first?
80.
80 and then no
100 season?
no postseason
80,
though.
80,
100
150 life.
No postseason though.
And then
even
the only
first time.
dude that's ever been banned for life, they let back in.
I know.
He's in the fucking.
That is
He's in
true.
Pawtucket right now for the Red Sox.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
Like the only lifetime ban they've ever handed out, they've rescinded.
He's back.
Because
Yeah.
they don't want to cut off their nose despite the face. Because the fear is that baseball's Tom Brady would get caught.
Yeah.
Like Mike Trout.
Oof.
Like if you did that ban for a year first time, Mike fucking Trout.
Right.
Or Mookie Betts.
Right.
And so, and as a player, I wouldn't agree with that because I don't care that the chance that there's a false positive is 1 in 1,000. Who's the one?
Right.
Who's the one that gets put in prison for a life sentence and actually didn't commit the crime.
Right.
And that's that's the defense that we've always used. And we don't trust the owners, and they've given us reason not to. When they remember the one that, by the way, David Ortiz never tested positive.
Never.
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
In the
Zero.
the 103 names,
Yep.
he wasn't one of the 103 names. It was some sort of like they thought he might be one of the. He got mentioned as possibly one of the, but he wasn't one of the names.
Right.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be
Anonymous.
and the owners let that get out.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would we trust them?
And that was an HGH thing before that was illegal.
Yeah. Yep.
And plus, they never told him what he tested positive for.
Yeah.
Right.
So
And he
that
asked.
whole
and they
thing
were
was
like, yeah,
garbage.
we
By
can't
the
tell
way,
you.
does anybody else find it odd that Reggie Jackson took steroids after he retired?
He did?
Dude, he's roided up. You ever see him?
No.
Holy
He's that
cow.
ripped? He's
Brady
really that
Anderson
He
is
is-
still like
Yeah,
massive.
one of my favorite people ever.
I mean,
One of my
that's-
best friends ever.
He's like one of the all-time like that's a little obvious guys.
Right.
very clear.
One of my favorite people ever. He used to give me fashion advice and just abuse me.
Yeah.
Oh. He would always say, like, if he saw me fashion, he'd go, "What time is it? You're in timeout for 30 minutes." So as I got older in our careers, every time he see me, he goes, "What time is it?"
Yeah.
Because he'd be looking at my clothes like, "No, that's not," because he was clothes whore.
I'm getting there. I'm trying to get in your brain for 1 second in your playing days.
Only one.
1 second. You are well aware that one of your teammates is using. Do you confront him and say, cut that shit out? Or do you appreciate that he's doing everything that he can to give you an offensive backing, knowing that you're also facing guys that are on
Neither.
some shit? You just keep your mouth shut.
I don't care.
You don't care.
Why would I? What impact, other than potentially positive, would it have on me?
I feel like maybe it would kind of have an effect on guys in the clubhouse that are not using, to see a veteran leader go up and be like, hey, like.
And that's your prerogative. If you're not using and that bothers you, tell them. But the fact of the matter is, you look at, everybody talks about legacies.
Yeah.
Oh, the 2014 David and Poppy, you guys didn't really. Well, pretty much half the Yankee roster through the late 90s, the Giambis and the Pettits and the Clemens, that four-year
Sheffields.
dynasty,
Sheffield,
Sheffield,
yep.
all of them, they were all using.
Yeah.
It didn't. No one looks at that 4 years and goes, that's not really, wasn't it? I mean, think about it. They won 4 World Series in a row.
Yeah.
And were it not for Luis Gonzalez, they win 5.
Yeah.
And we find out most of them were, not most of them, but they were using.
Yeah.
Okay, so that doesn't cheapen the legacy anymore, because
Right.
it's just kind of a matter of
But
fact.
even when they were winning, to be fair to the Yankees, which I don't want to do, I mean, they were definitely going up against competition that was also
Right. No,
using.
everybody.
Yes, the whole field.
Everybody. The thing about it is, I would argue there probably were a higher per capita of pitchers using than hitters.
Huh.
How much did you hear about that? You guys talk about like
You didn't.
No?
I knew it. So the guy that I thought about actually recently, that, and I have no business mentioning his name, but just because of the performance change, was Charlie Morton.
Yeah.
90-mile-an-hour sinker guy. Now he's 97. Now I did that after surgery. I literally went from 92, 93, 95, 96, 97.
Yeah.
But anytime I saw a guy go from 5 to 8 miles an hour in one season, okay,
Yeah.
I get it.
But that's also like an Astros thing too. Like guys just fucking go there.
Wade
and it's
Miley
like,
has like the third lowest road.
Yeah.
It's
home
crazy.
area. Yeah, it's
like
ridiculous.
when you go to the Astros, it's just they have this little fucking Frankenstein
special
factory
juice.
where
Yeah.
they can turn.
Yeah.
You, like they did it. I mean, like Verlander was a legend before he went to Houston.
But everybody, it was almost like
he's-
when Clemens left Boston. Verlander, everybody
Yeah.
thought Verlander's on the back end.
Yeah,
And
I
now-
think I think it's different though, because when you go to Houston, like there's something in the water there, because
Yeah.
it's more than one guy. Clemens, when he left Boston, they told him like, hey, you're over the hill, you're done, and then he obviously hops on whatever he hops on,
Yeah.
and he's now spiteful because
Still
of the
the hardest
comments
one
by,
for me.
What?
Clemens. I defended him forever.
Yeah.
Until I started seeing what was the evidence and stuff, and then
Yeah.
I felt bad for the people.
That's the
Because
annoying-
just because like I think that people think of steroids or performance enhancers as like a shortcut, he still worked his balls off.
Right. No.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to
He
use
outworked
the one,
everyone.
I studied and learned all about them.
Yeah.
After I realized it was prevalent, and one of the things that stood out to me was the guys doing that worked every bit as hard, if not harder.
Yeah.
Because you have to, because of
Right.
what it does. Manny was the hardest working player I ever played with. There's not even close. The stuff he did, I told you before, on the road, getting up at 10 a.m. and going to the weight room with the strength coach every day. Like that I don't get up at 10 a.m. any day, number one,
Right.
much less every day on the road to work out, go to the park early hit. I mean, it was just insane. So,
Yeah.
But again, I close my eyes and sleep pretty good at night.
Yeah.
And I can look at my kids and say what I did. Right.
It upsets us as fans because I saw a stat: the only 3,000 plus K guys not in the Hall of Fame are you and Clemens. So like now we're comparing off the field clause or whatever.
Well, that's my problem with if you look at the job that has been done on my character since I left ESPN, I am now as bad as guys that use.
But that's insane.
Which is ridiculous.
And here's the thing, you think about what athletes have come back from. I've never hit my wife, driven drunk, done drugs, all of the things, the crimes, athletes murdering people. I mean, I've never done anything like any of that.
That was my favorite Johnny Damon quote of all time, by the way.
What?
When they were out, like A-Rod got caught for steroids, and then they asked Damon about it, and he's like, well, could he done something worse? He was like, murder? Like, good.
Did you ever read his book?
Murder and Steroids.
No.
You kind of have to read his book.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get a whole new level of appreciation for cavemen. Like, I love them. 705 every night. He's the greatest teammate in the world.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's a special somebody.
Interesting person.
This is more kind of like from my line of thinking, where I would have probably answered yes to this. I probably think that you would answer no. It's you only have one life to live.
Right.
One life, one shot. You have your youth years. You have your later years. Now in your later years, do you look back to your youth years, and especially where you are in terms of like the Hall of Fame voting, do you ever like think like, just out of curiosity, I wonder how good I would have been on top of how great I already was if I used steroids?
No,
like, would you be interested to see like, hey,
like,
I've
never
hit
thought
like
about
5,000 strikeouts?
I've never actually thought about that. That's actually an interesting question. I've never thought about, because one of the things that I've noticed with steroids and players is the very large amount of freakish injuries.
Yeah.
Unconventional stuff.
Right.
Anytime you see someone, blow out a lower lumbar or back muscle, it's like, okay, you're the first guy ever to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know, because for the most part, the only thing I ever had, I've had 16 surgeries, and they've all been kind of in the same place: ankle, knee, right shoulder. But for the most part, my body I was built to be a starting pitcher, so to speak.
Yeah.
I don't know, because power in baseball is flexibility and range of motion.
Yeah.
Right? And I have long limbs. I have a thick upper body and a thin. I don't know. That's a good question, because I never thought about that.
Right.
And because it was never an option until I told you this too, that I got off. I never did PEDs, and then in 2008, I had someone offer them to me in the organization. Like, you should do it. What do you got to lose?
Player?
No, trainer. Mike Reinhold.
Huh.
Like, you should try it, dude. You got nothing to lose. And the funny thing was there were players standing around, and when he walked out there looking at me like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
Did he actually just say that?
Right.
I was like, yeah, that's the other side of the hill I was telling you about. I was like, fuck it, why not try it? What do you got to lose?
Well, I mean,
let's do
like
this.
there are definitely guys that have not, like you mentioned, like Melky Cabrera, perfect example of a guy that's like at his peak, pretty good player, but like never gonna sniff the Hall of Fame conversation. Probably not even gonna be on the ballot. Yeah. You had everything to lose. Like, it's you're 41. Like, you could extend your career
and
by
here's the thing,
a year or two.
I don't know how to defend
you
myself.
lose your Hall of Fame,
but I
you
never
lose your
thought about it.
Because then if you get popped in 2008,
questions everything else.
Yeah, now everyone's looking back at all the other years.
That was never an option. Like, I never thought about. I don't know why that is. It's just like, let me just tell you this. I've never taken a drag off anything in my life. Never.
You ever smoked a little pot?
Never.
Oh, a little pot.
Why not?
I grew up in a family. My dad was Army, and my mom was heavy smokers. I couldn't stand it when but
you'd be funny high.
I never. I mean, seriously, could I talk more though? I don't
Yeah.
know. No, I don't think I could.
Oh, I think you would. You know what, Kurt? One of these days, me and we're gonna smoke a little weed.
No, not gonna happen.
It's like that ain't
But it's like I said, I never
gonna
ever
talk
in my
about the
life
old
thought
days.
about it. Like, it wasn't the way I was raised. I would be terrified of what my father would think of me.
It wasn't even a question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know why. Because I always liked to hang around the guys in high school. I hung around the druggies.
Yeah.
Because they were the most honest people you could find.
That's true.
And I didn't like phonies.
Weren't you? What was the most recent like gathering of like 2004 people that you weren't?
We just had
invited
it last
back
year.
for?
Or
Were you invited back for something? Or there was something that you weren't invited
oh
back
yeah,
for?
yeah.
What was it?
That was last year. That was what was the. It was a reunion, 2000 celebration of 2014.
Why? It was fucking.
I don't know.
20.
It was something. Was it 15 years?
For the Red Sox, they would do the 14-year anniversary. Which
Right,
is, I think
but it
that's
was
what
like a 15-year.
In 2012, they did a fucking like 8-year
Yeah,
reunion.
they
Right,
did an 8-year
but
reunion.
it was a specific 2004. Remember and they invited 2004 members back, and my wife, God bless her, was like, yeah. Let's fly in people from all over the country for a 2004 reunion, but not invite the guy who fucking lives 30 minutes from Fenway.
Right.
Yeah, she was a little bitter about that.
That was last year.
Yeah, it was last year.
That's weird.
I went to something this year, I think, because I want to remember.
I'm surprised that they didn't for opening day invite like 04, 07, 13.
Yeah.
Did they do
You know
that?
what? It
I
might
don't
have been.
remember.
It was the ring ceremony.
Yeah,
yeah, you were there for the
Oh, you
ceremony?
were there. Yeah. I saw you on TV. I was like, oh, thanks for the tip.
They.
It was nice.
I thought you'd be there.
No.
No, he had.
That's true. I should have gone one on the field. You're
Yeah.
right.
Those the
nice.
ceremony was interesting
But no,
this year. It was kind of like
Manny and David. We saw
Yeah.
everybody before. It was right before David's incident.
yeah, true.
That was crazy, by the way.
That-
He's home now. What was
Insane.
your initial reaction when you heard that news? I was fucking.
I was just, okay. I don't know if I told you this. I literally heard about it as it happened.
Yeah.
No.
How?
No. Like live as it happened. I was live streaming, and somebody in the bar was watching my live stream.
What?
Really?
Said David Ortiz just got shot.
Wow.
Huh.
And I was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like somebody's spreading the rumor. And then like 10 minutes later, he's like, no, the ambulances and everything. And then
Jeez.
like 20 minutes later, it started to come out on the
Yeah.
internet. And then 30 minutes. But like literally within 2 minutes, the guy was like, yeah, David Ortiz just got shot.
God,
Like
That's
right in front of me.
crazy.
I was like, ha.
Have you talked to him?
I talked to Tiffany a couple times.
Yeah.
I talked to him between his second, he had a third surgery recently
Yeah.
because of complications, but he wasn't taking visitors at the time and he wasn't taking calls when I talked to him, but I've interacted.
Right. Yeah. No, that's absolutely insane. I'm glad he's home now. But yeah, that was there was something else. Oh, the alumni game. They didn't invite Damon back for that.
Yeah.
I remember they did. Did they invite you for that?
No,
Would you have gone?
I don't know.
What would you have been able to do? Would you be able?
Nothing.
You're not going to be able to pitch.
So what's your relationship with the Red Sox now? Is
I
it
don't.
weird?
I have one with like people lower in the organization.
Yeah.
The ownership, I don't really have any association with at all.
And that all goes back to 2008, signing
Yeah.
the 1-year deal, not being able
What
to
they
perform.
did on my way out, I will forgive them for, but I'll never forget.
So that was did they recommend the surgery?
No, I did.
You
I
wanted to do
wanted to have it, and they refused to let me have it. And they were trying to tell people that I lied to them about my health when I signed the contract.
Got it.
And I was like,
But
"Are you
isn't that
fucking
up to
kidding
them
me?"
to conduct like the
I did my physicals and passed all of them.
right? How flimsy are the physicals before signing a huge contract like that? 'Cause I
They're
feel
not
like they're just
flimsy.
I feel like they just take like the little fucking
No,
hammer
but
and they go.
you go through all of it. but
He's got the reflexes.
It's more a reflection of people think things about sports science that aren't true. MRIs are as inexact as just about anything.
Yeah.
And that's why there's an amazing thing happening now. I talked to Dr. Gill recently. They're creating a process by which they can go into a joint and look at it without doing surgery.
Huh.
Like physically go in there, which is what I said when I played. Like that's the home run. If I could go in and look at your shoulder and see you have bursitis, as opposed to you have a torn rotator cuff.
If you look at any pitcher's shoulder, you're
Right.
gonna find some
Well,
shit. in
there's
there.
always damage.
Yeah. Of
And the
course.
MRI, like I said, the MRI and I got pretty good at reading MRIs because I had so many. it's they can diagnose you with. Well, I was my first in '95. They told me I had a torn rotator cuff, and basically my career was over
in '95.
in '95.
I feel like that was a swing and a miss.
Yeah.
Well, and then my trainer goes, "The team doctor's an idiot, so I'm going to get you in touch with someone." And that's when I met Craig Morgan, who saved my career. I threw over 3,000 innings after he operated on me.
So that was. I mean, what was your? that incident with the quote unquote torn rotator cuff in '95? Was that one moment or the only moment in your career where you're like, fuck, like this might be the end of the road for me?
Yep.
You never had another scare like that?
No.
Not even the ankle. I mean, like, what?
No, because when I worked my ass off coming back through it and I went from, like I said, my first year off of that, everybody told me not to do it. And I came back, the night I came back and pitched, I went 7 innings, I punched out 10 and gave up no runs.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, wow, okay, actually, but I worked my ass off. I knew I could work myself back from anything.
For the people that haven't listened to the 2016 2-part interview, can you tell the Cannon story again?
Oh, and by the way,
best. I love
so
this.
you've heard this story in different guises. Everybody else is making it up. I was there when the actual event happened. Like, this is the story that grew urban legend. So Mark Portugal's pitching in Cincinnati. It's 1991. Bob Cluck is our pitching coach. Yeah. And the only person that got high more often than Mark Portugal was like Cheech and Chong. Yeah. So, and he is a great teammate though. Yeah. So we're in Cincinnati. And remember, 91, this was the Nasty Boys. They're coming off the World Series. We're playing in that just horseshit cookie cutter stadium. Yeah. And I'm going to forget the names, but I'll just give you 3. Sabo, Joe Oliver, and Barry Larkin. Sabo, first pitch, home run, dead center. And in the old Cincinnati Stadium, they used to have a cannon in center field that they would shoot off. And it scares the shit out of you because it's really loud, and you're in an enclosure, and everybody kind of jumps. Then Larkin comes up 2 pitches later and hits a home run. Yeah. And the cannon goes off again. Yeah. And then the next guy comes up, and it was Oliver or whatever, and 2 pitches later, he goes deep. Yeah. So Clucky runs out. He kind of does his jog out to the mound, and Porch is facing the dugout, so you can kind of see his face. And Porch has got he wasn't a real serious guy very much, and he's looking in, and he looks at Clucky, he goes, what the fuck are you doing out here? He goes, oh, nothing. I'm just giving that dude in center field time to reload the fucking cannon before the next hitter comes up. And Porch does a laugh and goes, you can see him going, fuck you, that's fucking bullshit, fuck you. Clucky turns around, runs up, and he's laughing the whole time.
That's maybe the best line in a pitching.
He was actually mad?
He wasn't. No, it was just like, you fucking got me.
In a weird way, that's the perfect thing to say there.
Right.
It's like, all right.
Well, there's no... What? Stop giving up home runs.
Stop doing that.
Right.
I mean, it's going to reload
and that's
cannon.
pretty much, for the most part, with the exception of postseason. That's how every mound meeting is. You're not talking about shit that people.
I always do wonder, how much is really happening
I
there?
remember Johnny Padres jogging out to the mound in L.A. one time, and I was like, what? Fuck. He never came out. He comes out, and I was like, Pods, what's up? He goes, listen. There's a lady behind home plate. Look at the rack on the blonde left with the Angel shirt on. He goes, I need to jog back around the catcher so I can get a closer look at that. But those are enormous and they're gorgeous. And he turns around and leaves.
That's it.
Yeah. That was.
Mound visits.
Yep.
What year is this?
That was 94. 93, 94.
Back then, there's less cameras. Guys are out there having a fucking conversation. Now you gotta cover your mouth like
I
this.
know.
You gotta
Look at the
But I will tell you this, and I've said it forever: miking baseball players would be the greatest thing the sport could do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the shit that we say on the
trickling
field
into it a little bit.
is absolutely for example, I would have loved. I don't know if you remember this. We're playing the Rays in 07, and Pinella was managing.
Yeah.
And Julio Lugo hit a ground ball, and it was a bang play at first, and they called him safe. And I was arguing with the umpires, and they reversed the call and called him out. And Pinella came out and was motherfucking. I was standing there. Basically, I was telling the umpires, you could look at my shoe. He stepped on top of my foot. There's no fucking way he beats me in the bag if he steps on my foot.
Right.
And they're like, oh, maybe you're right. And I'm showing him my shoe. And he didn't, nothing even close to that happened. But my shoe was all scuffed up, so I figured. Yeah. Then they reversed the call, and Pinella comes down. He's like, are you fucking kidding me? How do you get. And that whole conversation would have been phenomenal to have. Yeah. And there's so many times at the home plate talking to the umpire, the shit that we talk about.
Well, the whole Aaron Boone thing, the fucking savages in the box and all that.
That shit happens all the time. And 9 times out of 10, when a manager goes out, for the most part, it's not happening much anymore. The older managers, they're trying to get thrown out of a game.
Oh, yeah.
Day game, hot-ass day game.
Yeah.
Right, fuck,
I'm
I
not
don't want to
watching
be out
this
here.
shit.
And the umpire's like, I'm not throwing you out, fuck you.
Yeah, if you got to watch this shit, you got to stay.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So did you see the Trevor Bauer incident yesterday?
Yeah. Yes.
So for those who didn't see it, Trevor Bauer got shelled by the Royals, and he sees Tito coming out of the dugout to take him out of the game, and he fires the baseball over the fence in center field. What do you think Terry says on the mound, and then he makes sure that he sits on the bench and doesn't go in the clubhouse. What do you think that conversation with Terry went like with Trevor Bauer behind closed doors?
I'm probably can get it within 1 or 2 words.
Okay.
So the first thing is Trevor clearly like, I'm so sorry, because he knew after he did
right
it.
away.
Yeah.
Tito's like, you know what? Go fucking sit in the bench and wait for me. I'll be over in a minute. Like that. And then he comes off and he'd be like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
All the times I fucking took a hit for you in the meet, you're gonna fucking embarrass me like that?
Yeah.
And Trevor's like, I'm so sorry. That was the conversation, because he's been in the game his whole life, and the one thing that Terry wants above all else is respect the game.
Right.
And that's just, and I'd never thought about throwing the ball out of play, but this is a young kid. And I don't mean he's
Interesting character.
He's different. He's always been different, and that's part of what you get when you drafted him. He's turning into the player they thought that he was going to be, which is great. But I mean, that's someone who doesn't have, and it's also probably a pitching staff without a leader.
Yeah.
Because
Especially with Kluber and Carrasco not there. So.
Right, and that's the conversation, because the conversation I have is, come on, dude, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Right.
Now you're going to go out tomorrow after the game in the media, and you're going to say, listen, what happened yesterday, I apologize to Terry and the organization. And he pretty much did that.
He did, yeah.
But that's unfortunate.
It was such a bizarre. What a weird. Like, what's one of the weirder things you've seen on a diamond? I can't remember seeing that.
Well, that's just frustration.
Yeah.
And there's no excuse. And a lot of times athletes are like, oh, I'm so competitive. Well, fuck you. You're not any more competitive than I am.
Right.
I'm just more mature than you are. It's just, and some guys do that.
How close are you and Tito in age?
I don't know.
It's got to be pretty close.
Yeah, but physically he's like 160.
True. His knees are
beat up.
No,
disaster.
his whole. I mean, I literally went to
dip and
see him
everything,
when he
yeah.
was about. He was.
How old are you now? You're 50. You just had your 50th birthday.
I'm 51. What's 19? I'm 52. I'll be 53 in November.
What?
Oh.
Shauna invited me to your 50th birthday party. Yeah. I was out of town. I was going to come.
Yeah.
That seemed like it was like last year.
Yeah. No.
How was the party?
It was good.
It was good because I wasn't
It
there.
was cool.
Do you think it would have been better if I was there or worse?
It would have been.
Tito's 60?
60. Okay.
And you're 52.
Yeah.
So was it weird having a manager that was kind of similarly, I mean, like, 8 years isn't a lot.
No, he was good though. My God.
But did you ever have, like, what was your relationship like? Because I'm sure, like,
remember,
for Tito and younger guys, it's like
Our
father,
careers
son.
kind of paralleled. I mean, I was the starting pitcher in his first game.
Yeah.
In '97, I was the starting pitcher in his first postseason game, in his first World Series game,
Yep.
his first win. So we followed each other a lot. But I remember
You can't possibly have a father-son relationship with a guy that's 8 years old.
No, it was never ever like that, because he was never mature enough to be my father.
Yeah.
But in 2001, he was literally he almost died. I mean, they brought in a priest to read him his last rites.
What happened? I don't even
He
know.
had what's called compartment syndrome, and something happened. He got an infection in his leg, and they literally had to slice his thigh open, and it had to be exposed and open to drain it, and it was just the weirdest thing. But
God.
Jackie called, I mean, he was not supposed to live.
Huh. I never knew that.
Oh yeah, and he's had tons of stuff like that, and like I said, he's 177.
Yeah.
But
In baseball
I
years.
loved him. I loved everything about him. The only time we ever had kind of a split or we're on opposite sides, and it was in 2008. We opened in Japan,
Yeah.
right? He got that new deal before the 2008 season, I think, and Mike Reinhold was trying to keep me off the Japan trip, and I was like, "Fuck you, I'm going." And
Why? Because you were going to get a payday for going, but you weren't going to
no. First of all, I wanted to go because I like Japan, but secondly, I was rehabbing, and I didn't want to when you get away from the team, things just drop off. And Tito, Mike Reinhold he was a bad dude, just a bad guy. And
Where's he now?
I don't know where he is now.
But he's not with the team.
No. But he was here. The thing about being on a baseball team, if you're a back channel to the front office, people will find out.
Yeah.
And he was the guy that was running upstairs telling them everything that was going on in the clubhouse.
Right.
We found out about it. But anyway, he said something. There was an event. I was supposed to be in at the park for a rehab in Japan at like 2 o'clock. And the ownership had asked us to go visit the soldiers at the base in Japan. So we did. We took the Blackhawks out. It was awesome. Flying over Tokyo, which was unbelievable. And I didn't get there till I didn't get to the ballpark. None of us got there till like 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And Mike Reynolds' mother fucking me. I'm like, the ownership, dude. The ownership, like, you knew where I was.
Right.
And then Tito got bullshit at me like, you can't be doing. I'm like, wait, hold on a second. Like, you seriously fucking taking this guy's side? Like,
Yeah.
But he was a Reinhold guy until he wasn't, and
Right.
we realized that he kind of screwed up. But we had it, and still do. I text him and talk to him all the time, and see him getting just older by the day.
Yeah. How bullshit were you when you saw, was it the Bob Holler story upon his exit? How bullshit were you?
I was embarrassed I felt bad for him. Like, he didn't deserve any of that.
No, of course not.
And that's what I said. That's why when it happened to me, I realized, okay, this is all true. They really will do this stuff. And it was, I realized then the only thing that rich people hate worse than losing money is bad press. Mm-hmm. And they tried to fucking assassinate this guy's character, who, by the way, had just won 2 World Series.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they did, and they did the same thing with Theo.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, and you realize that it's all about control. And that's the problem in sports, is that the ownership can't control the players, because John Henry can't tell them what to do.
Correct.
Can't pay me.
Yeah.
So they take it out on other people. And generally it's the coaching staffs. I mean, Larry Lucchino, I don't know if you know, I don't know if I told this story, but in 2008, when we were going to Japan, I had negotiated the deal as a player rep on the player side, what the coaches were going to get, what the players were going to get. The last day of spring training, we're playing a home game, and I found out before the game that the coaches
We're not going to get paid.
Yeah, and that whole thing. And Larry Lucchino came down and motherfucked me, like, and he said something, this is not the deal. And I said, Larry, you're lying. He turned on me in the middle of the clubhouse and was like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm like, okay. And I'm like totally calm, like, okay, but you're lying.
Yeah.
And he was just livid. And I was like, how do you treat people like that? I mean, you're already screwing the coaches over. They're making $75,000 a year, which is like per diem for some guys.
Right.
And you're going to stick it to them even more? And the coaches couldn't say anything, but they were all like, we really appreciate, because they ended up getting paid.
Wasn't there almost like a boycott?
We would not go out. We're on ESPN
Yeah.
that day, and we refused to take the field.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to get on a plane and fly to Japan after the game. We're like, we're not going.
Yeah.
We're literally, and here I am on the DL and arguing with all this shit that's going on,
Right.
and because I took the hit because it wasn't going to cost me anything.
Yeah.
So Uke was like the assistant player, but like we said, we're not going to go out on the field, and we're not getting on the plane.
Right.
And they're like, oh, bullshit. And then all of a sudden they realized we were like serious, and ESPN was like, you guys fucking gotta take the field. We're like, no, we don't.
Dave Wallace wasn't still there, right? He was going.
No, it was Farrell was the pitching coach.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Johnny.
Oh yeah. Johnny Steelcock.
Yep.
Steelcock.
Yeah. I'm sure he appreciated.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, he's still the best communicator. He wasn't a good manager, but he's the best communicator I ever played with.
Really?
Oh
Because
my
I've
God.
heard the
Yeah, I was
exact
gonna say.
opposite.
He, as a coach, as a pitching coach.
Yeah.
As a
That's
manager,
different.
I don't know what he was like. I
As
just
a-
know,
A lot of the younger guys say
Yeah.
terrible communicator.
right. And that's what happens is it happens, and you'll see this as you get older. So many times companies promote guys out of their strength.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's like that 8th inning guy. He's got a 1.06 ERA and he's got a 10-to-1 strikeout ratio. Don't make him the closer.
Yeah.
Let him be the setup guy. You know what I'm saying? That happens. That happens all the time. And some of the worst managers I ever played for were Hall of Famers. Frank Robinson, who I owe a lot to and I loved, might have been the worst manager I ever saw.
Really?
I don't know if I've ever told you. Did I tell you the Phil Bradley story?
No.
Okay, this is fun. So my first week in the big leagues, we used to, the guys in the bullpen in Baltimore used to bring binoculars down and they would look at the bench. And I was like, what the fuck? And 2 days later, they're like, there's an over-under. And I'm like, for what? Whatever inning they catch Frank falling asleep on the bench, that's the over-under.
No.
Right?
Oh.
So apparently when Frank was on the bench and he would make moves, which you rarely did in the American League, he would just point down to the bench. And it was literally, guys would be like, me. He'd be like,
Shuffling guys up.
all right. So this is 89 when we're having that comeback fluke year. Phil Bradley's on the DL and he comes, and Mickey Tettleton's having a monster season, right? Fruit Loops guy, blah, blah, blah. So Mickey's on deck and Randy Milligan walks to load the bases. And he's looking down the bench and pointing, and Phil goes, he goes, yeah. He wanted Phil to run for Randy Milligan at first base. So Frank puts his head down. Phil goes up.
And to hit?
Hits for Mickey.
No.
And Frank's like this, and Now batting, Phil Bradley. He's like, what the fuck? First pitch, Granny.
Really?
Oh, wow.
After the game, Frank's in front of the meeting going, well, I wanted to get Phil in a bat situation.
It just felt right. It felt right. It was a situation you wouldn't get it.
Yep.
He wouldn't get it.
Yep.
Yeah, managers just got that feel.
Oh, it was the greatest thing ever.
That's unbelievable. That's awesome.
Do you have any? Are there specific like Francona stories that you have? I mean, you have to have millions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Most of them
I was gonna say
involve a felony.
Yeah, everyone
are they-
says that. It's
Are they
like-
usable for a podcast?
we've asked a lot of those guys. Like we've asked Clev.
I'm telling you,
and-
he was gross. Like, a lot of people don't know. Greg Maddox's nickname was Booger
Okay.
because he would pick his nose and wipe boogers on everybody.
Okay.
He was like a disgustingly gross guy.
Okay.
Right? I don't know that. I heard that.
Yeah.
Tito was that gross. Like, he always, like, had his office built so his shitter was somewhere visible. And he would call you in for a meeting, and he'd have the bathroom door open, and he'd be taking a dump. And it would smell so bad. He'd be like, no, come here, I need to talk to you. I'm not coming in. And he's just gross. I mean, and Brad Mills, he used to just destroy
Millsy.
Yeah, Millsy.
Yep. Oh, my God, he would wear him out. Oh.
Pap.
Pat Millsy.
And he told, I mean, he had Michael Jordan stories and just.
That's right. The Jordan.
Birmingham
that's
Barons.
Right.
Yeah.
I almost forgot about that.
And he's
Damn.
probably, next to Pete Rose, the hardest gambler I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
like a Francona documentary. This
And
is-
yeah, oh no,
endless
that, well,
stuff.
but hard. It would have to be like a Netflix thing because
Yeah,
you couldn't put it
yeah.
on regular TV.
No,
'cause
true.
Yeah,
most-
because like his book. Did you read his book?
yeah. No, I didn't read his book. I lived it.
That's
Yeah,
true.
true.
He did. Yeah. No, his book is really good, but it ends like I feel like the story is there's so much more to the story.
Right.
I think it ends. in
And
like
I knew his
2008,
book would
maybe?
make him seem a lot nicer, like cleaner cut than
Yeah.
I know he's a dirtbag.
And also, correct me if I'm wrong. I think Shaughnessy wrote it, so I can see why you.
Oh,
wouldn't
yeah,
wanna
yeah.
Read that.
Yeah, yeah,
support
that
his
would be a
book.
fun.
One of my old boss was like, he loves Tito. He's like, I love Tito, but I hate Shaughnessy more, so I can't read the book.
You gotta think about what you have to do as a writer to make people really hate you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't hate him. I just dislike him immensely.
Mm.
And especially someone who's been so blessed. His daughter was sick, had cancer, she
Yeah.
survived. You would think he'd be like the happiest guy on the planet.
So he's been very nice to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been good to me when a lot of those guys over there haven't. They don't like the access that we had. What do you think you would have thought of us in 2004?
It would have been fun.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Because I loved. So I was on a Philadelphia Phillies fan board in 1995.
Okay.
Like I was communicating with fans because I grew up a fan.
Yeah.
So I like to talk to the fans, and I like just to not because they treated you special or anything. It was fun interaction, and I've always done that. You know, I still to this day I will back up the saying that Sons of Sam Horn made up my mind.
Yeah. On what? To come to the
come
Red
here.
Sox?
That was kind
really?
of the fun. Yeah, because of
Came
the
because of the
passion
message
that
board,
those
yeah.
people were
Yeah.
showing. But I had fun with this stuff. I mean, I realized when I went to Arizona in 2000, I remember a writer writing a story the day I got there about Matt Williams being an asshole because he doesn't talk to the media.
Yeah.
And 2 weeks later, the writer wrote an article about how I talk too much to the media. And I was it's an unwinnable
win.
fight, so
Can't
don't
win.
fight it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's why I never had a problem calling people in the media out in front of everybody on the team.
That would have been a lot of fun because we would have given you the platform to
Right.
do it.
Oh, yeah.
Say
No, I
whatever
would
you
have been
wanna.
traded in 2005.
yeah.
Yeah.
Chilling on an 04 pod. Watch out.
Yep. I would. Yeah, because again, I'm not afraid to say what people always say, "Oh, I love you because you say what you think." Well, that doesn't make me right.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
just makes me me.
Yeah.
And what I think is my opinion. I'm comfortable with that because I know I'm not malicious. I hate bullies. I don't like to make people feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I'm coming from a good place, even though there's things I wish I hadn't said.
Such as?
If the Phillies don't get grass in the stadium, Scott Rowland's going to leave as a free agent.
You said that?
Yeah.
Did he leave as a free agent?
No, but
okay.
but they went from my locker to his, and like, oh my god.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
shit.
My bad.
Yep,
My
my B.
bad.
Sorry,
My bad.
Hi, Scotty.
There's some guys that are just absolutely unapproachable on game day. What were you like on game
Yeah.
day? Unapproachable?
I didn't talk to anybody.
Besides your catcher.
My catcher and my second baseman.
Why the second?
My second baseman ran my defense. I ran my defense through my second baseman.
Got it.
So and my pitching coach. because nothing anyone else could talk to me and say to me would have any impact on me getting an out that night.
Yeah.
And early in my career, I understood the difference between they were paying me to win. They weren't paying me to pitch. A lot of guys in the big leagues, I'm getting paid to pitch. Andy Bennis was a guy I thought, he earned more money than any pitcher in the 90s, and he was like he was getting paid to pitch.
Yeah.
Like I realized, for me anyway, I'm getting paid every fifth day they want me to win the game.
Yeah.
So I just looked at that as I got older, I realized you got nothing to offer me tonight to help get somebody else. So I can talk to you tomorrow. It wasn't like a hard ass thing. It was more of just a routine.
Speaking of being paid to pitch, the second that you were traded to the Red Sox, was it a Ford commercial?
Yeah.
The Ford commercial where you were like, you were in Arizona, you
Gotta
throw
break
your
an
bag in the back of the
86-year-old
truck. Yeah, you got to break an 86-year-old curse, which at the time, like, you set yourself up to be like
the face of that.
Yeah, the face of, oh no, the curse is actually real, and like if the ankle thing goes south, and there's big time potential for that to not end up well. Was that like because you didn't have an agent?
I did.
So did they? Did
Look,
Ford?
I did that so many times in my career.
Yeah, but not to this extent.
The
To
night of
Boston,
Game
being
6 in
traded to
2001, Kevin Kennedy interviewed me, and I said, if we win this game tonight, we will be the 2001 World Series champions.
But it's
I know.
a lot different.
I like that.
You were
That didn't bother
in the World Series.
Right, that didn't bother
This
me.
was fucking spring training, like not even. So I'm more asking, not so much like, you having the balls to say that and back it up. I'm asking, like, did Ford approach you? Did you go to them and say, I have this idea?
They wanted, they brought, I would like, when I first saw the commercial, I was like, wow,
That's a
don't
big
know.
And I was
declaration.
like, well, fuck it. That's the reason I went
Yeah.
there. I mean, that's literally why I came to Boston instead of New York. I mean, the specific conversation with Shonda was, well, listen, I had Brian Cashman on the phone when the Red Sox were in my house.
Yeah.
And he said, if you hold out, I'll be there tomorrow, which was Saturday, and you can fill in the check. And I looked at Shonda and we were talking. I said, so here's what it boils down to. We can go to New York and win like 3 or 4 World Series maybe, and have it be like the 29th, 30th, and 31st.
Yeah.
Or we can go to Boston and do something no one alive has ever seen. I was like, that's too fucking cool to pass up.
Yeah.
So that was really honestly what made. And then, like I said, when I saw the commercial, I was like,
I don't know.
But then it was like, well, fuck it. That's why I went there. I
Right.
mean, I'm going there. They're not bringing. I mean, I had the $2 million World Series clause in my contract. If we win,
Yes.
I get a $2 million bonus.
That's what, like, Maz. Oh, here's your wife. Would you want to pick this up?
Oh yeah. Hold on. Hello. I'm right in the middle of the podcast, and you're on. So don't.
You're on.
What are you doing? No, Jared's now some fucking celebrity. He was late doing his own thing. So
Hi, Shonda.
no, she wants you to read the instructions on the back of the toilet before.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
He had toilet trouble
No,
last time.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, he thought it went
All
the
right, I'll
wrong
call
way.
you when we're done. All right. Hon. She said, "Oh, all right. I love you. Bye."
Major toilet problem last time.
No, you had
No,
Yeah.
no. We'll get to the toilet
Get
in a
to that
second.
thing. One thing I have real quick on
Ellie, shit. That's
easy.
Ellie, that's enough.
It's
the
okay.
when did the Why Not Us thing?
Wait,
when did
hold
that
on.
come
Before
about?
we move on from the commercial,
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about like they came to you,
Right.
And did they pitch the idea,
Yeah.
or you're like, I think it'd be cool if we did this?
No, they pitched it.
They wanted you to say, I'm going to Boston,
Yeah.
break an 86-year-old curse, and you're like, perfect, let's do it.
Yeah. Well, it
Sounds
was
good.
like I looked at Sean. I was like, and then at some point I was like, oh fuck it.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
What's that check look like?
it was good,
Yeah.
healthy,
Yeah.
and I've been driving them ever since.
Hey, there you go.
So they still hook you up.
You're
You're just a customer now.
I'm a customer now.
Got
Built
it.
and made in America.
So before Steve's question,
Yes.
the infamous Thanksgiving with Theo Epstein. Tell me the truth. Did you have your mind made up before you
No.
even sat down? You didn't.
No.
He had to pitch you.
Nope. I like I said, I had insane leverage that he didn't know about, which was I called Joe Garagiola that day, Thanksgiving Day, and said, "Listen, I don't think this is going to work out." And because I was afraid they wanted the Richie Sexton thing to happen, so they had to trade my contract.
Yeah.
And I was afraid that they were going to be upset that I wasn't going to make it happen. And he's like, "That's fine. Then worst case, we go into the season with you and RJ. I'm good with that."
yeah.
So I was no pressure from that side. and I knew what I had on the other side. So it was like, if they did a lot of things early on. And let me just tell you, most of the time when you're pitching a player, you're pitching the family, you're pitching the wife, which they did a tremendous job of reaching out to her and to the kids. So, but then they knew. I mean, he's the best I've ever been around as a GM. He was totally prepared for me, and he knew what I was going to be worried.
At the time, he's probably like my age.
Right.
Oh yeah.
No,
He's young.
concerned about all the right things.
Yeah.
Video preparation. Here's what we can do. And the big beef was we can't pay you more than we're paying Pedro.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, first of all, what the fuck? Why would that have anything to do with anything?
Yeah.
But we got around it, and then to get, like I said, if we win the World Series, then you're going to give me $2 million, and you're going to increase my salary next. Like, okay.
Deal.
Yeah. Works out pretty well.
Yeah.
That was Why Not Us before you won it all, or like?
Oh, it was no, that was
When did that
late
start,
in the
though?
year. Late in the year, we were in
Okay.
Baltimore, and everybody kept coming. I mean, the Shaughnessy's of the world were like, here's the multiple and multitude of reasons why you can't win, and I was like, it's. I mean, seriously, why not this group?
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that would stop this group from winning would be this group. Ellie.
Exactly. Why not us?
Right.
No, I'm right there with you.
Right there with you, Ellie.
And so I'm like, why not us? And then I made the T-shirts.
Yeah.
And it took off.
And the best
I mean,
clip
you
was
went to like a printing press and got that for like $10.
it was
It
awesome.
was like a black shirt with like
Yeah.
white font. Yeah.
Yep.
that clip with you in the airplane being like,
Yeah,
"What? That's awesome."
That was after. Yeah, I mean,
That was the flight back, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That was after the Yankee series,
Oh, okay.
and
So
so
4 more left. I like
we
that.
knew, but we knew
Yeah.
after that series was over, we knew we were going to win the World Series.
Did you answer the question of does 07 still win if 04?
You said no.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No,
So you don't think like
because of
do you think 18 wins?
I don't know. I don't know how it plays out if 04
Yeah.
doesn't happen, because when you talk about 04, you can't just mention that you have to. There was the circumstances.
Right.
Down 3-0
Yeah.
against the Yankees.
Yeah.
I mean, David's walk-off against Washburn. I mean, all of the things that happened around that made 04.
Paul Quantrill.
Yeah, I mean, all of it. Like, you think about, David's opposite field home run off Gordon before. I mean, all the little things that happened. And it turned it, like I said, it's a World Series that will forever be its own.
One of the I always, from the first interview that we did every year on the anniversary of the brawl.
Yes.
I tweet the clip of you telling we don't throw a 260 hitters,
That is
bitch.
the best.
Yep.
That's my favorite story of all time. Was there anything else that happened like during that brawl that's just like never really been talked about? Because I feel like there's the A-Rod Veritek thing.
Right.
There's Tanyan Sturts, Nixon, and Gabe Kapler.
Getting bitch slapped by Kapler
was there
and Nixon.
anything like? Could you guys in the dugout feel the moment brewing before it happened?
No.
Because A-Rod it was like a fucking off-speed
he
pitch.
he didn't get hit on purpose. So there wasn't like this buildup of we're going to throw inside.
Yeah,
A-Rod.
yeah,
He got
yeah.
hit with a fastball in the arm guard.
It wasn't even a fat. I think it was like a fucking like
But
a
it was
flat
A-Rod
curveball
trying
or like a
to
changeup.
ingratiate himself with that. He was
Yeah.
trying so hard at the time, and I knew I'm pretty good at predicting fights.
Yeah.
I've been the third man in just about every single time my bench is cleared.
You're there quick.
Ever.
Yeah, you were in there pretty quick.
Like,
Yeah.
same thing when Paul Bird and Eddie Perez, I was the first guy. Like, I can see him happening. So you'll see me running on the field before anything's happening.
Yeah.
Because I knew as soon as he dropped the first F-bomb on Tech, I knew they were going.
yeah.
And like, it was chaos in there because part of it was baseball scrum and part of it was there's some guys who wanted to beat the fuck out of each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think all of us wanted to hit A-Rod
Yeah.
at the
Naturally.
time.
What was it that annoyed you about him before that? Because I feel like
The bullshit.
what do you mean?
The A-Rod was, to me at the time, A-Rod was trying to be part of the gang and one of the guys
Yeah.
when he was already part of the gang and one of the guys.
Yeah.
Like Mark Grace, for me. Mark Grace tried so hard to be in the group when he was already in the group.
Yep.
Like, it's like, you don't have to use that much effort, dude.
Right.
You're here, we like you. And so much of it was, I remember I saw his rookie year, did an interview with Cal Ripken on ESPN. And I thought to myself, oh my God, that's the most polished young man. And I realized that a lot of it was just,
Scripted.
yes.
Yeah. BS.
And And then he did all the, this at second base when he.
Oh, God.
And then
Yeah.
the I got it in
Yeah.
Toronto, the bullshit stuff, the stuff that nobody does.
That he doesn't have to do.
Right?
Yeah.
No, this
And
is
then
a
when he-
Talented
this is-
guys ever.
The thing that he
Ever.
does when he
Yeah.
stands at second base and he points out the
Yeah.
outfielders to be like, that's how where they're playing. So
This
I know.
is
It's like you don't need to.
One of the
physically
5
do
best
it.
players in the history of the game.
Yeah.
Acting like he's a fringe big leaguer that has to do everything he can do to stay in the big leagues.
Yeah.
And it was awkward. It was uncomfortable. And I got to tell you though, I went to him after his last season, before his last season, and apologized to him
For what?
Well, there was an article that summer in a sports magazine about him coming clean, and part of the article was about him having to sit in front of his daughters and tell them. And like as a father, that like just totally struck home with me. And I thought, you know what? I didn't like the guy playing against him, but there was really no reason to be such an asshole to him.
Right.
And so I went to him. It was actually pretty awesome because we were doing the Yankee preseason stuff, and I went to the parking lot. I waited for him to come. He's coming to the parking lot, and I said, "Hey, Alex, you got a minute?" And he's like, "Yeah, what's up?" I said, "Listen, I just want to apologize." And his response was, "For which part?"
Oh no.
No, I was like, "Yeah, that's fair. That's fair." I said, "You know what? I think I've done and said a lot of things that were unnecessary, and I, if I had made your life any harder, I feel sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't. It was not my intention, and I wanted. I told him. I said, I want you to have a final season that allows you to walk away from the game with your head up. I said, because as a father, you're going to deal with that for the rest of your life, and I understand that, and you made choices you wouldn't want to make, but I didn't want it to be like that."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
What did he say?
He was cool with it, I think. He's like, "Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you."
He mentioned you on the broadcast last night. He was saying just guys that had no big games and how to pitch in them. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to tell you, he and I would be the perfect 2 analysts.
Oh yeah.
Because I could point out the fact that he used to peek at the catcher and cheat all the time, and he would deny it. And
Yeah. That'd be good.
Is
He's
that throw it a guy worthy if they got caught peeking?
It depends. If you note, he used to always wear sunglasses in day games, and he would wear sunglasses in dusk games because he would wear the Oakleys with the wide lens. And when he would look down, he would be able to look back at the catcher without anybody seeing him. And Tech caught him. And like,
Was that pre-brawl?
I don't remember when it was,
Right. Next
but he
day
caught
he's
him.
like,
But
"Listen
it
up,
was.
bitch."
I went back and looked at all my at bats, and he had done it. He had been doing it my whole career.
Really?
Yeah.
So I mean, you were the bigger man, and you buried the hatchet with A-Rod. Do you think Varitek ever will?
I don't know.
Because I mean, like you weren't in a physical confrontation
No,
with him.
I
think it's different.
don't think that stops. I mean, teammates fight and bury
Yeah.
the hatchet.
I just don't think that there's a whole lot of respect.
No,
I can't speak for Varitek,
no.
obviously, but
That
I
was
think
awkward last year on the podium. They were kind of near each other. It
When
was
you
like,
think
Yeah.
about how Tech played the game and what Tech
Yeah.
was about, as a player, when Alex played, he was the antithesis of everything Jason believed.
Yeah,
Like, he didn't like the idiots thing.
Varitek.
No, that wasn't fun. I mean, we're not idiots.
Yeah.
We're and I didn't. No one really did.
Yeah.
But the media had fun with it, but like, dude, that's disrespectful. Like, we play the game hard.
Yeah.
Play the game right. We're not idiots. Johnny is, but we're not.
Right.
We
And
do
Millar.
have an
And
idiot.
Millar, yeah.
Yeah. How many of the guys from the 04 team do you still keep in touch with now?
Mirabelli and I are probably the closest. I still talk to them or text
doing, like,
with
real
most
estate
of them. Huh?
Detroit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like when we got together opening day like, we couldn't wait to see each other, and it was
Yeah.
like we had been together the day before,
Yeah.
which is what most of baseball teams.
Do you guys share the same political views?
Uh,
Just kidding. I don't want to talk about that.
yeah, most
damn.
No,
most
that's all right.
athletes are baseball players are.
You look at
conservative.
that.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy. That we're
Damn.
almost out of time here. What else is going on in your life? What have you been up to? How are you feeling?
I feel great.
Yeah.
I literally am starting to totally embrace this retirement thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Now?
my Monday is exactly like my Saturday.
Yeah.
If I choose it to be, it's pretty badass.
What do you do with your free time?
So I'm gonna go a little political because that's where I'm at. I'm work with the Young Americans Foundation.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to go out to college campuses around the country and
Yeah.
speak. I'm going in October. I'm going to a college in Nebraska to speak about leadership and faith and conservative values and whatever, which
Nice.
I love to do.
Yeah.
The game has I don't want to say blackballed me, but the game has no interest in having me back, and I'm not really sure why. Because
In what sense?
Well,
What
in any
opportunities
sense.
besides?
Like I've reached out
ESPN,
and
do you feel like
offered
you've been
my
denied?
services to go because I like I like teaching young kids.
Yeah.
So I was like, listen, a couple clubs. I was like, listen, if you have a project kid in the minor leagues that a Daniel Bard, I'll go down for a couple weeks and fix them, or whatever. Or if you want me to come in and talk to your young pitchers in spring training about what they're about to, or if you want me to, whatever. And no one's ever really reached back out.
Which organizations?
A couple, Red Sox, Cubs, a couple other ones.
So you were trying to go through Theo then?
Yeah.
Got
it. And
they've just assembled basically all the 04 guys.
Right.
Was over there, man.
But the other thing was like I tried to reach out in back channels to the Mets. Like I would love to be the Mets pitching coach.
Yeah.
Because that's a staff of just monster arms.
Yeah.
And I believe what Johnny Padres told me, which is give me an arm and I'll make you an ace.
Yeah.
I can't make an ace out of a guy that throws 86.
That's true.
And I would love, and that's such a train wreck now.
So you'd like to actually be back.
I would like to. I don't have a burning desire to get back on the field.
This isn't let me swing by for a spring training week.
No. I would do that.
Yeah.
I would do any of that stuff because I like talking about pitching.
Yeah.
And
But if a
that's what I
team
know.
calls you up right now and says, "Hey, we want you to interview to potentially be a pitching coach,"
I would love to do that.
Yeah.
I would love to. I would like just to interview. Just I asked because when Cap's signed, I reached out to Cap and said,
Yeah.
"Listen, I don't want as much want the job. I just want to go through the process one time."
Yeah.
Because I think I would get a pitching coach job I interviewed for. I don't think there's any question about that.
Yeah.
All the travel though, you'd want to go back and all that.
I don't know. That would be the other thing is I don't know that someone could afford to pay me because I
Yeah.
wouldn't go back for $104,000 a year.
Right.
I'm not going to go
on the road.
Well,
162.
not only that, but the coaches. I would get to the park at noon or 1 for a 7:00 game when I wasn't pitching.
Yeah.
As a pitching coach, I need to be at the park at 9 or 10 a.m. because I have 12 pitchers I have to get ready.
Yeah.
Every day, and they're 12 uniquely different people.
Yep.
So I need to throw a bullpen with this guy. This guy's struggling mentally, so I probably need to sit him down and say, hey, everything's going to be all right. Is this guy going to be available for all of that stuff every single day for 12 guys?
Do you think that there are pitching coaches in the league like that right now that have that type of work regimen?
I don't know. I wouldn't.
That's how you would do it.
But I wouldn't be coming back to be a pitching coach. I would be coming back to be the best pitching coach in baseball.
Right.
Otherwise, there's no point in doing it.
Yeah. Which team would you prefer to work with besides the Mets?
I would like to.
Would the Mets be your number one?
I would like to work with Alex. I like Alex.
Oh yeah.
I like Alex a lot. But Dana, I love Dana too. So, I would love to work with Tito. I would love to work with Joe Madden.
Yeah.
I would want to work with him. I would want to work with Gabe. I think I could bring a lot to the manager about pitching.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of managers that aren't pitchers don't take time to learn that thing. They kind of let their pitching coach handle it. Mm-hmm. And I think that the smarter they are about their pitchers, the better they can be.
That'd be really interesting to see you back in the game in that capacity.
See Schilling,
that would be fun.
pitching
Yeah.
coach,
Like I said, I
that'd be
think I
awesome.
know that.
Yeah.
I think I could get 12 guys at peak performance.
Yeah.
I believe it.
So the Mets, I mean, fucking
The Mets, I mean, you
yeah,
get
the Mets
Stroman.
gotta get you on the phone right now.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But I could walk in there, and there's nothing to do with Jacob deGrom except let him throw his bullpen and do his shit.
Yep.
Noah Syndergaard, I could turn into a 30 fucking game winner. I just think I don't think his approach to the game is right for his stuff. I think, and also it's a very different generation from a coaching mentality about pitchers. These fucking guys are tipping their cap after 5 1/3.
Yeah.
There needs to be a mindset. Go back to the mindset. What I was taught was the most important statistic a starting pitcher has is innings pitched.
Yep.
Period. And it really is, because if I have 245 innings, then I've done all the other things you wanted me to do.
Right. You're not trotting a guy out there for 7 or 8
and
innings.
I don't want you to think about going. I want you to get the lineup out 4 times. And if you only have to get him out 2.5, that's great.
They won't even let most of these guys face the line for a third time.
That's like
scared of it.
I get that because the metrics say, but see, sabermetrics for the sabermetricians are one size fits all.
Yeah.
Which they're not. Some guy Corey Kluber might be way better the third time around than the first time around. I was a guy who mine kind of fluctuated with my fastball velocity as to how good I was. But I think that because I totally buy into the sabermetrics and they're the human element, I can put those two together.
So are you still watching the Red Sox on a nightly basis?
No, I don't watch any baseball on a nightly basis.
That's
I
crazy.
follow them.
Yeah. So then, what would you look at a guy like Chris Sale this year? you do like the analytics a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
you're looking at like stuff like xFIP. You know what that is?
Yeah.
So Chris Sale, I think, is third
Right.
in the majors.
Right.
But he's still not pitching well. Like if you just watch
He's
him
more
with your
hittable this year
eyes,
than he has
So
been.
why do you think that is?
I know why.
Why?
I know why. If you watch video of Chris, he is not throwing from the consistently same arm angle that he has been in the past. Having said that, he shouldn't be 6-11 or whatever he is. He's got a 4.6 ERA or something like that. I watched last night. His arm angle, and I scouted Chris as a drafty. Like he was one of the guys that when I first started, I had a couple organizations ask me to do draft stuff with him.
Cape League guy.
He was one of the first guys I ever evaluated, and I missed in the sense that I thought I've since learned differently. The arm angle is a huge plus from a health perspective, but there's something to be said for pitching with confidence, and I don't think he's pitching with a ton of confidence right now because he's not winning, and that affects it. But his arm slot, whereas for me, for the most part in the past, it's been like right here. Sometimes it's a little bit here, and sometimes it's a little bit here, with his and I think it's been a mixture of his fastball, breaking ball that he's done it with. But I think it's just he's got to go out and punch out 12 and throw that one hitter to get back to because I remember struggling.
That's the thing is like he's been doing that
Right.
though. Like he'll stink for 3 or 4,
Right.
and then he'll have
Right.
this dominant start where he goes out and it's like.
And it used to
6
be
innings,
that other
12
way. He would
strikeouts.
dominate for 3 or 4 or 5,
Yeah,
and he'd
have
have
one
that. Yeah,
stinker,
he's
yeah.
had a couple starts this year that you have once a year that he's already had
Yeah.
multiple
He's had
times.
Most of
Five
them
of them,
against
yeah.
the Yankees.
Right,
This year.
and it's you look at his right-left splits, and there's telling numbers there.
Yeah.
I mean, you can always find the reasons why, and there's usually a little physical thing to it, and plus, I think he's tipping.
Oh.
He has been tipping. I know a couple games, 2 starts that I've seen, he's been tipping.
Where is it where he tucks his glove?
It's a physical thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also a tempo thing. People don't understand. You can tip with tempo. Like if you throw a breaking ball, you get the sign and you come set, and then you go at a specific time, as opposed to you get the sign for fastball, you come set, you look around, you do. Tempo can be he's not blatantly tipping, but I think some really smart hitters are figuring out fastball, breaking ball.
Yeah.
Which if you can do that with him, that's everything.
Yeah, that's
and if
huge.
one guy on the team can figure that out, then the whole team knows.
And- But some guys are absolutely hate it. Don't want to know.
Yeah.
Because the first time they're wrong, they're going to
Questions the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Who's your dream project? Like if you could look at any one guy in the league and be
Syndergaard.
like, it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
I could make that guy a 3,000 punch out pitcher.
Yeah.
Oh, no doubt.
Have you ever tried to contact him?
No, I don't. I work with a couple young kids in the big leagues who reached out to me in different organizations. I text with them, every other night or whatever. Guys that are a couple kids that are literally in my city. They're 25 or 26, huge arm, on a team or with a team where they're kind of bouncing back between the starting rotation and they have no business being in the bullpen. They're just pure starters. Trying to help them understand how simple it should be mentally that they just can't understand it at that age.
I feel like a name just popped into my head, a guy that would really benefit from working with you, Chris Paddock.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen enough of him to know, but like I said, I know I talk a lot about knowing a lot of things, but that's the one thing I feel like I know better than anybody in the world is pitching.
Yeah.
And understanding that there is no one answer for 2 pitchers.
Are you able to like say you're facing a guy and you're able to sort of dictate the rest of the at bat based on like you throw him a fastball and you can like watch like his feet and like how like the type of swing that he had against that pitch, or maybe it's
Now I was never that's Pedro. I never watched. I would pick up on the swing if the swing was absurdly out of the ordinary, good or bad, I would pick up. But I never watched the body. I knew when I went into a game, I knew the 3 spots I could throw my fastball that you can't hit. Mm-hmm. All right, and some guys. I'll give you an example. Alex Rodriguez was so good, he was easy to game plan. You never threw the same pitch back-to-back in the same spot back-to-back.
So you never just like picked a corner and
No,
peppered it.
you couldn't. So if you think about that analogy, then it becomes, that's why he's so hard, because now you have to have 3 pitches that you can throw to different spots and then count. Or you're not, when Bonds was hot, He was easy. Hard as I could throw it, inner half of the plate.
Yeah.
Anything else, he would hit for a home run.
Maddox was saying he was the easiest guy to pitch to because he just put four fingers
right.
up.
Well, yeah, if you couldn't make him swing and miss, there's no reason.
Yeah, just put him on base.
Tony Gwynn, same way. I got to him to a point where
You ever strike him out?
once.
Ooh, that's
Wow.
big.
Kept
That's
the ball.
hard.
Kept the ball.
I was just gonna say you
Kept
gotta
the
keep
ball.
the ball.
Two strikeouts in my career. I kept the ball. Was him and Cal Ripken.
That's awesome.
You have to. Where is that ball?
Is that ball here?
But he became so easy because I stopped trying to strike him. I realized I wasn't going to make him swing and miss.
Yeah.
All right. So what I did was I took my second baseman and moved him over to the shortstop side of second base, moved my shortstop into the hole. I put my left fielder in, put my center fielder over, and I threw him fastballs away. He would hit a line drive to left, and hopefully it would be at somebody that was standing around there.
Or you just try and like throw the splitter and get a generous.
No,
call
I wouldn't. No,
underneath
I
the
wouldn't.
strike
I would
zone.
never give him the ability to hook the ball around.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Right? I moved my defense, so I know where you're going to hit it. I just need to put my guys there.
That's smart.
That is good.
But I could, people always ask me, what was your best pitch? What do I throw this guy 0-2? And I keep saying to people, you can't ask me that question. How did you get to 0-2? What did you do the first at bat? What have you done in your career? Who's on deck? Who's on base? What's the score? Who's the umpire behind the plate? And what's the preference for his side of the plate? How do you want to set him up for the next 2 at-bats in the game or next 3 at-bats?
Yeah.
What have you done in this count to him beforehand? I mean, there's like 55 questions you have to answer for every pitch.
Who's your favorite umpire?
Ed Rapuano.
Okay.
I think he's a Hall of Fame umpire. Ed Rapuano was Teddy Barrett.
Yep.
Jim Joyce.
Jim Joyce.
There were a lot of really good guys.
Wolfie.
Fucking hated him.
Really? Why?
Okay, your brother's a pitcher in the big leagues.
Yeah.
Fucking call a strike.
Yeah.
That dude had. I remember. I'll never forget. In spring training, I was with the Phillies and I was with Randy and I said, "Your brother's got the plate today." He's like, "Yeah." I said, "I'm like fucking fired up, dude."
Mm-hmm.
His strike zone was fucking that big. Like I was like, "Are you shitting me with this?"
Yeah.
And I walked out the field. I said, "Let me tell you something, dude. You're not gonna stay in the big leagues with that strike zone."
Yeah.
He's like, all right. He was a little tough guy.
Yeah.
I was like, all right. And I had him in a game one time. He was fucking horrible. He was a hitter's umpire. I was like, oh, come on.
How many times did you have him?
I didn't have him very much behind the plate.
Okay. Yeah. Because Dallas used to say that he has like a repertoire where he like if he threw a ball back to like the pitcher, like he would throw like a knuckleball. He would throw like sliders and shit.
Yeah, I didn't have him enough to care.
Yeah.
Yeah. He wasn't consistent. That's what I didn't want.
Jim Joyce. I feel like that's one guy
What a
that
phenomenal guy.
always comes up.
Well, Joe West is a bad one, or at least.
But the problem is, here's the thing. Joe West is a good umpire and just an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a good, consistent. I told you my Joe West story, right?
Yes.
Yes.
That was awesome.
That was when I realized he was a complete douche.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that I was never going to win.
Right.
Like,
You can't.
Yeah.
Can't fight
But
City
in his
Hall.
defense, outstanding umpire on the bases, consistent behind home plate, just a complete asshole.
Were there any umpires that you like drank with after games while
No.
you were active? Is that frowned upon?
It's just not done.
Is it frowned upon?
I don't know. I wouldn't care. I saw umpires out. Eric Gregg used to be out like all the time.
Yeah.
And talk to him and laugh with him and have a beer every now and then. But no, it was never a big deal.
Like I feel like if I don't know, it's bad optics for the other, not for like a teammate, but for the other team. Like if the Yankees are
But
in
it's
town,
not
and,
because
like,
it's the big leagues, and you know what? I knew when umpires were gonna give me what they would give me. She's a little slutting out right now. That's her little porn pose.
How annoying is that, knowing that it's like I can't just go out there and do what I normally do, like I have to pitch to the umpire.
It's a whole part of it.
You know what? It wasn't annoying because you had to do it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I never got annoyed at things like when it was raining or wet or the mound was bad.
Yeah.
Like beyond the initial disturbance, I never let it because I couldn't do anything about it. It was going to be there, so
Right.
I'm wasting my time and energy thinking about something like that.
Did you miss me?
Not anymore. No,
That's
I'm ready for another 3-year hiatus.
Are you sure? I feel like we shouldn't go.
No,
3 years
no.
into
I
these
said
things.
next year you got the exclusive.
Yeah, I mean we should
Dude,
definitely
that
do
needs
that.
to happen. Absolutely.
Like if there's, how does that work? Like,
I have no idea.
Every year, do they contact you? They don't.
no. Well, then we'll make that a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They don't.
It's now a thing, and we got to see the farm.
we do have to see the farm.
Yeah, you can come back for a farm thing in the fall.
Yeah, I feel like that. I mean,
We'll do a minor league report from the farm.
Yes.
Yeah, we got to do that.
Full
Shout out
Miners
Eddie's
talk
goat
with
milk.
Kurt.
All right,
Eddie's goat milk.
Uncle Kurt.
Good stuff.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you guys. Take care.